Okay, so before we actually learn to crack into WEP, let's try to understand it and its weaknesses just a little bit more. So WEP is pretty old. It dates back to 1997 when Wi-Fi was first introduced to the world. I was 5 years old. It's a long time ago. The main flaw though with WEP was use of small IVs and the size of the encryption key, which was pretty small. It was either 64-bit or 128-bit. So in the IVs, they take up 24 bits of the encryption key, and they were used along with the secret key to encrypt with the RC4 cipher. So each packet is supposed to have a different IV, but due to its size, reuse is very common, like on a busy network. So since the IVs are only 24 bits long and the rest of the key is always the same, the total number of combinations are very small and pretty easy to guess. So if the RC4 cipher stream for a given IV is actually found, an attacker can decrypt packets that are sent that were encrypted with the same IV, and we can forge packets. So this means that you don't really need to know the WEP key to decrypt packets if you know what the key string was used to encrypt that packet. So thankfully you don't have to do this manually. I know it sounded a little bit complicated. It's kind of like a high level of how it works, but we have tools that can do this automatically and literally in a matter of minutes or maybe even seconds. The tool that we're going to be using is called AirCrackNG. So it's primarily used to hack into Wi-Fi networks, and it has a whole suite of different tools that we're going to be using that's going to help us attack WEP networks and also WPA networks later on. So the first attack that we're going to do is actually capturing packets, and then we're going to crack the key using those packets. Pretty much basically what we said before. So we're going to use AeroDumpMG, part of the AirCrackNG suite, to capture a large number of packets flowing over a network, into a file, and then we're going to use that file to actually crack the WEP key, with AirCrackNG. So now let's go over to our Kali Linux machine and actually try to do this attack. Okay, so we're back on our Kali Linux machine. So I went and changed my router settings. So for WEP, I had to go to down to a 2.4 megahertz frequency for it. In order to enable WEP, and I put like a password in there. It's like hack me please with 2 E's on the end, because I had to fit like all the characters. It's like a certain character requirement, so I had to do that. So now we're gonna try to see if we can find the network with our wireless card. So let's check to make sure. Sudo ifconfig. Okay, we still have our WLAN device there, and it is running in monitored mode. So we're gonna do our first command. So we're gonna try to capture all the 2.4 gigahertz networks. So let's do arrow dump ng and then -- band, and we're gonna use B and then put WLAN 0 because that's the interface that we're gonna be using, and B represents 2.4 gigahertz frequency. And then we're gonna go ahead and hit enter. We have to do sudo. So actually, one way to avoid having to do sudo all the time is do a sudo -i command, and you become root. So now we can try the same command without having to do that. It's kind of annoying anyway. So -- band B WLAN 0, and then now it's capturing all the networks that are in 2.4 gigahertz. And now what you want to do is actually look for the one that is for your network. So mine is probably the one right here that's the only WEP network. So let me expand this really quick. So it has the names over here. So this is mine right here. Okay, so what we're gonna want to take note of is the BSID. So for my network is this one right here. So I'm gonna want to copy that. And this is going to allow us to actually directly target that network. So now let's see who's connected to this network. So we can do arrow dump ng again, and then -- b SSID. That's just the name. It's gonna be the MAC address of your router. So we're gonna paste what we copied, and then we're gonna choose channel. So you see the CH column. We need the channel number. So for mine, it was channel 11. So let's do 11. And then write. This is going to allow us to write all the data that we're capturing into a file. So we're just gonna say webpack. We're just gonna say that, and then WLAN 0 is the interface. So this is the command. So now let's hit enter, and let's see what happens. So now what it's going to do is going to start to capture the different devices that are actually connected to the network. So let's give it some time, and we'll see exactly what devices are on this network. Okay, so my laptop is the only thing that's connected there, and you can confirm that this is the address, the MAC address for your computer that you're testing. Like that's connected to the network. You can go do like in Windows ipconfig/all and look at the physical address for that adapter that's connected to the network, and then you'll be able to see that it actually matches, so it knows that it sees that my laptop is connected. Okay, so but for this attack, what we're gonna do is, so we have now this .cap file. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use aircrackng to actually try to decrypt and spit the key out. So let's do aircrack-ng and then the file name, so webpack01.cap, and then we're gonna hit enter. And now it's going through and it's going to try to hack. So it says I didn't have enough initialization vectors. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back and run the other command again. And we're gonna try to write this again, and I'm gonna try to get my computer to do a lot of traffic. So I'll be back, and we're gonna see how many different packets it's capturing. Okay, so I have this running still. It's capturing a lot of packets, so it's at about 60,000 right there. So we can go ahead and try the aircrackng command again and see if it actually works. Okay, so it actually works. So after it captured 60,000 IVs, it actually was able to crack the password. So it actually got the ASCII format right here, and it also has the hex format right here. So what we can do is just to test to make sure that it actually works, so that you guys don't think I'm making it up. We can just copy that, and what we can do is we can try it on my computer. So let's disconnect. Okay, so it's asking me to enter the network key, so I'll actually I'll just paste it in there. So let's see. It's going to be hack me please with 2 E's on the end, just so you guys can see. Hack me please. Next, verifying and connecting, and we should be able to successfully connect to this network. So it's saying that it isn't secure. This is like a Windows, like a security feature in some way. It doesn't stop you from connecting. So it's still connecting, and now we have a successful internet connection. It is connected. So we're good to go. We learned how to crack WEP encryption, and this was the highest level with the 128-bit key. So, and it was still able to crack it, in a short amount of time. It only took 6 seconds. Okay, so that's pretty cool. So now what we can do is move on to trying some other types of attacks.